Good morning.
Hey, good
It's
morning.
Monday.
Morning.
Good morning,
I can't
Nikki.
find the show.
You
Oh, it
can.
popped up in my email. There we go. I'll go through that way. Chick Picker is live. Good morning. This is Doubtfire.
Yeah, I got to get on the chat here.
Oh.
The chat.
Sherry Cheerfulness says rise and shine.
Woohoo!
And I can't get the chat to scroll. Where'd my scroll? There's the scroll bar. Mike Fisher, good morning. Says ran 500 listings to auction that completed on Saturday. Sad to say, only 31 sold for a total of $670. Starting all over, building store back up. Glad to say I had little or nothing invested in the 500. That's still not bad. I was thinking about that last night, about just taking a bunch of stuff and throwing it on auction.
Yeah.
Auctions, I don't believe in auctions anymore. I mean, have run one occasionally on, and I've been kind of disappointed in the results. Jason's the only person I know of that does really, really good on auctions.
Yeah.
But he's selling specialized equipment that has a market where people will literally pay anything to get that replacement piece or that piece of tool stuff they know. I just don't think auctions work unless you're selling like really, really hot desirable. It kind of sucks because I would love to blow up a bunch of my inventory that way too. I was thinking about last night.
Yeah. I mean, I think there really isn't. I haven't had very good luck with auctions in general. I try, if it's something that's just not moving and it's stale, I'll throw it over into auction,
Right.
like clothing and stuff like that. But there's just not. Usually with clothing, people usually want it right then and there. They don't want to have to wait. So.
Oh.
Well, I think with a lot of things, though, I mean, that's just the society that we live in. I mean, look at Amazon Prime and the fact that, you can click a button and get your stuff in a day or 2 days, or even in some cities the same day. I mean, it's just people don't want to wait. People will wait for something that's a one of a kind or a collectible, or like people that buy gold and silver bullion. I mean, most of those people are collectors that are just stockpiling. Nikki?
Yeah.
That's like me with online auctions, local online auctions. I still do them, but I really don't care for them because I like that instant gratification. I know, when I go to a live auction, I'm getting it right now rather than, well, I got to sit and watch it for 7 days and then get into the whole thing at the end,
Well, it's like our local online auction company. There's one of them that'll do them for like 14, 15 days. And I'm like, really? Seriously?
Yeah.
And I honestly, if I see, lot of whatever, and they've got, all the listings up for a new listing with a gazillion different auctions, and it says ends in 15 days or 14 days, I just won't even click on it. I like glance at it, and then I'll be like, oh, I'll come back to that later. And you know what? The sad thing is,
usually forget.
A lot of times I don't come back to it, so I feel like they really lose business from doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I usually forget about it.
You kind of have to keep people around, Let's do some shout outs. Going on Glency.
Sorry.
She said she was there first, and she said, "Let's go, lady." Fishing and picking. I'm here, but I'm in the background packaging and shipping 31 orders. That's awesome.
You beat me by one. I got 30 to ship.
We got Robin Birchall, Michelle Clark, Miss Sherry, Blackberry Thistle Tea, Mike Fisher, The Comfortable Life, Frankie's Finds, Megan Carl, Silver Hair Stacker. He says, good morning, yard sale slammers. That's right.
Well, it's about time Barb gets in here.
I know, huh? She's usually not in here until a little bit later.
Was there not a show Friday?
No, there was a show.
Oh, missed. Okay, Robin wasn't here.
Yeah, she wasn't able to. I think she had to go get a car or something. No, Fishing and Picking says, anyone having problems with GoDaddy bookkeeping? I haven't had any problems.
Uh-uh.
I haven't checked mine. Oh, my feedback is 6666.
Oh, ish.
Ooh, fancy.
No.
That's good luck.
No, I knew yesterday it was 6665. And I was waiting on it. I was like, well, maybe two people will leave at the same time. Get over 6666. Oh, dear God.
Mr. Norris in the house.
We had like 3 inches of snow this morning or last night.
I was looking at the news, and there was whiteout conditions in Garden City, Kansas.
Yeah.
But that's over by the Denver area.
Oh, God.
Crazy.
Getting ridiculous. It's May 1st. Enough is enough now.
Yeah. Time to get on with summer. Morning, Craig. Megan says she's a quick books girl. You know, I tried that. I just couldn't. I'm special, I guess. I just couldn't get to it. Get it. Understand it.
I hate QuickBooks. I mean, I used to, but I don't. I was forced to use it in a situation a couple of years ago and forced to learn it, and I became a lot more comfortable with it, but I still.
Yeah.
QuickBooks, Excel, anything like that, I would just like cringe.
I really like
This was all we had.
What is it? The GoDaddy bookkeeping. I really like that. I think it's a good system and it's easy to run, and man, Silver Hair Stacker, he said he packaged 15 items this morning.
Oh, nice.
That is awesome. Greg Murray says, what's the latest discussion? Global voodoo. That's too much drama.
Yeah.
I took a post down in the group yesterday, and I didn't mean it, and you know, I hope I didn't offend the person. I meant to follow up with a message to them that, you know, hey, you didn't do anything wrong, but it was just talking about, you know, drama and whatever. And I'm like, you know what? Talking about drama creates drama.
Yeah.
I'm over it and done with it. It didn't make me mad. I guess that's why I was going to follow up. Like, hey,
No.
I'm not upset or anything, but I was just like, nope, going to nip that one in the bud and not do it.
No, people are interested in what's going on. I don't think anybody means anything, but
No, exactly, yeah.
but yeah, it's good to just squash it before it's too.
Well, I think they do a lot of that. Yeah, I think a lot of that is just, you know, trying to draw people in, and you know, usually some kind of drama will do that. You know, it'll draw people in, and then, you know, get people all riled up, and then you get a big mess. So
hey, that's what we should do every morning. Every day we'll pick a new audience member at random, and we'll create a rumor about them.
Yeah.
And we'll announce it live on the show.
Let's start with
Totally random rumor. That's right.
He's easy to pick on. Let's get him first.
There you go. That's funny.
Huh. Oh.
No, I don't have any desire for the drama.
Well, it's very easy to get caught up in, especially when a lot of it's,
Yes.
people with YouTube or in groups or whatever that you've known for a long time. And I'm prone, I admit, to get caught up in stuff, but at the end of the day, what I've discovered is it's counterproductive to my business, because then it just leads to a giant rabbit hole that goes nowhere and makes me absolutely no money, because I lose time on when I go to be shipping.
Right.
Now I hope and pray for the people that are involved that it is just a way of getting subs. I really do hope that stuff really is not happening. That would be a shame if it is.
It is. I mean, I think there is some truth to it, but I think it's probably a little more exaggerated to make it sound more drama worthy. So, like Dusty said, drama brings drama, and I refuse to deal with it.
Yep.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Grab me a Pop-Tart too.
I have my toast for the morning. Actually slept. Surprisingly, I slept really good last night. I was pretty surprised this morning when I woke up.
I was actually up at 7, if you can believe that. I know, surprise. And I normally kind of roll over and I'll snooze one more time, and then that's what happens, is then I end up snoozing until 9.
Yeah.
But I actually got up. I walked in the living room. Tristan goes, "What are you doing up so early?" I've got to get back in that habit, though. That used to be.
That could be part of, you working out and, not feeling you have a little bit more energy. You're, ready to go in the morning. And
yeah, maybe. Although I didn't go to the gym this weekend, though. But I worked enough outside and around doing different things that I felt like I was still getting my exercise in somewhat.
Yeah. I totally agree.
But yeah, I think it's just getting my body back in new patterns and habits, so to speak.
I have a treadmill, but I haven't used it in probably, I don't know, 6 months or so. I had it in one place in the living room, and I just didn't. It was actually blocking my window, my living room window. So I moved it yesterday and moved the furniture around a little bit. So I've got it in another area where I think it might work a little bit better. So possibly it might encourage me to get on there and get to work. So. Yeah, Megan Carl, she said she had a terrible time getting to sleep, and then she had nightmares. I know. Those crazy old nightmares. Jason says, if I want drama, I'll go to Netflix. If I want to learn about reselling, I watch Dusty list stuff in his
I watched shorts all day yesterday. I don't walk around with my underwear. I did that one day and kind of walked through and forgot the camera was on. I don't like underwear or something. Never hear the end of that one again.
Oh, that's too funny. You know what I've been doing lately is I find sometimes it's really hard for me to go to sleep, just to doze off. So what I've been listening to is this it's called sleep meditation type thing on YouTube, and I'll put that on. Actually, I put one on last night, and it was kind of irritating. Like, it was just one of those that was like, no, that's just not for me. So
one of those where it's like the mystic music or whatever, and yeah.
I can't do mystic, or I can't do music when I'm sleeping. I can't do TV, I can't do the radio, can't do anything. But if somebody's talking, I tend to do okay with that. So, but yeah, I mean, I've been doing that, and it seems to work pretty good. And I slept all through the night, so woke up at 5. I think it was 5:30.
He said, "Yeah, I see you up in crazy hours." Talking to me, I leave Facebook open on my desktop, so it's gonna look. It'd make it look like I was up all the time. I don't bother to close tabs out. The only time I'll close Facebook out of my tabs is if there's like a group message going and I want to go in the other room and watch. I don't want my computer in here going ding, ding, ding. But normally I just leave it open.
Jason says, turn on the estate cleaner. He knocks me right out. Love him. Morning, Dawn. Yeah. I don't know. I really, I just kind of I like that, like the affirmations or the law of attraction. Somebody that's just kind of talking in a monotone voice. And
like Scavenger Life, they used to be really good. Not for putting me to sleep, but they were so just low key. They were one I used to always kind of listen to.
Yeah. I might have to. Yeah, I've listened to them. I think I've listened to every episode. So
I haven't listened to them in a couple months. I don't know why. I just kind of got out of it, and
yeah.
But yeah, I used to listen to them religiously.
Let's see if Sally is awake yet. Sally, wake up. Nope, she's still sleeping. Or she might not be sleeping. She may not. I assume that she is, but that's just an assumption. Yeah. Poplar Pig. Nikki says she falls asleep watching Jim sales videos.
Well, Jason's up because he was typing in the side chat, Jason Bonanno. So
yeah.
I don't know where Tara and Eric.
I don't know. I mean, Tara they usually come on about 8:45, 9.
After they milk the horses.
Their kid and all that. Yeah, they milk the horses and they take their kid to school and all that stuff. So they usually don't get on here until a little bit later. Jim Cooncat. Good morning, all. Great weekend. Getting the store ready to open for the season on Friday. Good online sales too. That's awesome. This month was April was pretty bad. I mean, it wasn't horrible, and I still got sales, but I actually got about half of the sales that I got in March. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that.
What, April?
Yeah.
I went down, but I blame it on March was better because I was listing more and listing more better stuff. I mean, I know why it is,
Oh,
or I know why
yeah.
I believe that it is.
Yeah.
That's a lot of things. It's like I was sitting here yesterday and all of a sudden I went, oh crud, I haven't done a promoted listings thing in a while. And I went and looked at my graph for promoted listings, and it was like April. I mean, it literally, so my exposure was down because from about the 23rd through yesterday. And then what's interesting, when I started it back up, I mean, the graph yesterday, all of a sudden on my impressions goes way back up and my sales picked up. So I don't know. That's something I've always tried to do really religiously is markdown manager, promotions, promoted listing every day. And I just got scattered in so many directions, I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the part of the problem was I had some sales going and I did longer sales. And I was like, okay, I've got those sales set. I can just leave it on autopilot. So then I forgot about the promoted listings.
Yeah.
As well.
I don't really have, I mean, I probably have, probably about maybe 25 items in the promoted listings. So I don't have.
Yeah, but you know what though? But I mean, if it gets exposure to those items and you're getting exposure all over, and then you're getting other sales that leads to momentum.
Right.
That's the way I kind of look at it. Whether or not those actual items sold from that promotion.
Yeah.
It's still sticking your stuff up there and making you relevant, Yep.
That's true.
And it doesn't cost anything unless it sells, so why not, Yep. Nikki, did you get me a Pop-Tart?
Got some rice.
Some rice?
Baby corn.
For breakfast?
Yeah.
Baby corn. Is that those little pickled corns?
Yeah, I like little baby corn.
Oh,
so good.
Megan Carl, she said, can you explain them promoted listings? I'm kind of afraid to use it.
No, don't be afraid to use it. It's not a pain in the butt to set up. You go on their seller hub, you go to marketing, promoted listings. It's going to tell you every item that you can have in a promotion. It'll tell you what items you can have. You click on select listings. It'll tell you what items you can do. You click the ones you want to do. You go to the next page. It says set ad rate. And basically what it means is whatever ad rate you set, like this particular item. I had one item that wasn't actually on promoted listings because I didn't list it till late last night. Like right now, and then there'll be a button like what I usually do is click the button that says apply trending rate. So it's 3.4%. So they will take that item and they will put it. You'll have a listing. You'll actually have your regular listing, and then you'll have a promoted listing. So if somebody searches by best match for scissors, and you have that your scissors are on promoted listing, it'll show your item up higher because it's a promoted listing. I mean, exactly what it says. And then if it sells, you pay them an additional 3.4%.
Right.
Which, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, really shouldn't be a big deal for me, I don't consider it a big deal for the exposure you get.
It just gives you an added, that added exposure, or you're up higher on the list, and a lot of people are going to pick yours over, somebody else. So, and actually, I have usually with my promoted listings, I'll do the full 20%.
Mm-hmm.
I used to, and I don't know. I started just doing apply trending rate, and I didn't really see any difference.
Really?
Yeah, so that was something that you might try, is, you know, save yourself a little bit of money. But yeah, I used to do the full whatever. And I thought one time, if just for whatever reason, I was like, oh, I'll try that. And I did apply trending rate. Didn't really see my sales go down. I don't know. It's just something you might have to track for yourself. And if it saves you a little bit of money, it might be worth it.
Yeah.
I've done promoted listings on things that have been sitting for a while on multiple quantity stuff, and it seemed to make it go a little faster.
Yeah, Jack Smack says his concern with promoted listings is that it becomes de facto and becomes just another fee.
It's just, I mean, fees are all a write-off in the end anyhow.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's like anything. I think it's like when you have a brick and mortar business, if you just resign yourself to the fact that you're going to have to budget a certain amount for advertising.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a day and age that we live in. You know, there is pay-per-click ads on Amazon. I mean, there's always, every website's going to have, hey, pay a little more, get a little more exposure.
Yeah.
And I think for me, definitely the extra sales offset any extra fees that I might pay. You know?
And especially with the promoted listings, is you're not paying unless it sells.
Right.
So it's not really an added expense, and if it sells, you know, I mean,
it's better than
it's
your
only a little percentage of it
on yourself and not selling. So I think it's more of a way to get your item out there, to advertise it, and, you know, get it higher on the list. I mean, we can all use those little perks, you know, to get ourselves higher up on the list. You know, really whenever it takes.
Florida's Hidden Treasures Margot said, I've contacted eBay about my $30 coupon for promoted listings, I'm assuming, and got no response. I talked to the Anchor seller support one day when I had them on the phone for something else, and I asked them, and she told me, and she went and double checked. She said that it is applied automatically as a credit, or it's supposed to be. Now, if it's not, you'd want to contact them again. But
yeah, I was wondering about that also, just to find out what was going on with that, because it was nothing but I figured it was just added on, or they would let us know or something. So that's good to know.
During April, I paid $37.56 in promoted listing fees, which resulted in $571 in sales. Now, I think it actually resulted in more sales than that. You know, there's a chance that people could click on your listing and then put it on their watch list and buy it later. There is also the momentum, I believe, you get behind things selling, and then eBay looks at you as relevant and kind of bumps all of your listings, and I think you'll get more listings. So, I mean, I really think it probably brought me $1,000 in sales, just kind of guesstimating. Megan Carl said, thank you. How do you keep track of which items sold that way for accounting purposes and marketing info?
But they break down everything as far as what sold, don't they? Don't they have like a pie graph or something?
Yeah, for accounting, I wouldn't want to break everything down. If you're doing that fine of line item accounting, you're going to probably, I mean, to each their own, but you're probably going to drive yourself nuts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I thought they did. Where's the report? I had 751 clicks. 50. Dashboard.
Now, is it true that I don't know where I heard it from, but I think somebody had said that the promoted listings will not only be for multiples, but they will be for like one-offs too. Is that correct?
I thought it was, but it doesn't look like. Yeah, I can't. Nikki, do you remember what the story was? If that was something they were going to roll out, or they haven't rolled it out yet, or?
Yeah, I thought I heard about it, but I don't remember. It's been a while. Let me look.
After that reselling talk, that's boring. No, I'm just kidding. I did some stuff this weekend, though, just to change the subject. I did some stuff this weekend. I went out. I normally don't go out and hit yard sales, but we had our community yard sale down the road, which turned out to be a dud. But there were like 6 other yard sales on the way there and on the way back, and I mean within a 3-mile radius, which they all turned out to be duds. I mean, there was probably stuff there that I could have gotten. I still had all the gun reloading stuff. I had all the boxes stacked up behind me. I really didn't need to buy anything, so I was just being really, really selective. And there was a lady there, it's a neighbor of ours, that grows her own plants and vegetables, and it grows everything from seed. And she has I think she calls it a botanical garden in her backyard or whatever. Really nice lady. And she was selling like tomato plants and stuff. And I'm like, ooh. The weather was gorgeous. Only 10:30 in the morning. It was already like 83 degrees. And I was like, you know what? And so I actually spent the day Saturday working on the yard, raking up, where like leaves have gathered up against the house from last fall, and sweeping off the driveway. And then our landlord came over, mowed the yard, and got to talking to him, and cleared trash off the front porch this last week, and not trash, but like our old firewood pile, and put the patio furniture back up. I just got ready for spring. And, at the end of the day, I stood back and I looked and I thought, did I waste a day? I mean, from selling on eBay? Yeah, probably. But it felt really, really good to get stuff cleared out. I was talking to Jason about it last night. It's like that feeling when you know that a bunch of like your dead eBay inventory, you just need to haul it off and donate it. And yeah, it's not productive, because you're not listing.
Right.
But at the same time, then when you get done and you look at that big giant space you have and everything's clean and nice and neat, and you go, wow,
right.
Feels so much better. And then, so I felt like it was a very productive day. And then I listed all day yesterday to make up for it. So
kind of gives you a fresh start in the year.
I think with the, for us, like this weekend was horrible. I mean, it was rainy, it was cold, gloomy and all that. But I think I want to say it was Friday. I mowed because I knew there was rain coming, and I went ahead and mowed the front and I mowed the back, and I felt, really that was the first time that I mowed and everything. I felt good about it because, things were clean, and, I picked up the yard, and all the sticks were gone. And of course, with the wind and everything, they were all back in the road today. But, sometimes you have to, I actually enjoy mowing. It's very, very calming for me. It's a way for me to kind of disconnect. So.
My favorite thing about mowing is when you get done and then you just sit on your porch or back porch or patio or whatever, and you look and it's all nice and neat, and that smell of fresh cut grass, and there's a feeling of accomplishment, and it's just done.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was for me. The flower bed that I did, the garden, as I call it, I mean, is literally, we didn't really have a garden last year. And so it was like 2 years worth of weeds, and of course lemon balm, which is an herb that's like a weed that if you don't do anything with it, just takes over like mint does. So it was just, I don't know, it was very I don't know, it was a good feeling. And then we had storms yesterday, but it was at that point I was already in listing mode, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah. But I think I think you have to do that also, in this, when you're doing this kind of work, I think you do need those days where you are disconnected from, you just completely, the whole day or some of the day is just a, give it a break. So.
Well, I think we're in a business where, well, I know we're in a business where, the more you work, the more you make. And if you don't have, we don't ever really have anything exciting going on in our life. So it's really easy to just become a workaholic and not take a break,
Right.
Especially if you have goals that you're, trying to do, you're saving for this or saving for that, or I don't know, maybe getting ready to move or looking at saving up for vacation, or it's easy to just work and not take a break.
Well, that's what I was telling Sally, because that's what I do. I just, work a lot. And what I'm planning on doing, hopefully this week, there's a shooting range about 5 miles away from us. And so I'm going to start using that shooting range and try to shoot it, try to go there at least once a week and just do that. That can be my little thing. So that's kind of my plan.
Fun. I want to go.
Yeah. I have that Ruger, but I'm afraid of it. I know how to work it. But I'm not experienced with it. So I feel like, the more that I use it, the better I'll feel about it.
Is it an indoor range or outdoor or what?
No, it's outdoor.
Is there anybody there that mans it that can help you, or?
I don't think so. I think it's just I think the city runs it, but they don't man it or anything. I don't think that there's anybody there.
Yeah, it's just a matter of familiarity, just getting out there, loading,
Yeah.
shooting, reloading.
Right.
Just the more you do it, the more, that's the only way to do it.
Yeah. And so that's kind of one of my plans is to do that. And that way, if I can go out once a week and do that, that'll be great. So yeah, I'm kind of afraid of, I'm not afraid of shooting the gun. I've got that down, but I think more of just like handling it in the house because it is loaded. I think that's my, because I don't want the gun to go off in the house. But just not. I would actually like to feel comfortable about carrying it all the time. And of course, I don't feel that, now. But I think it's good to have some kind of a hobby other than, something different than what you currently do. So if you're, going to auctions, I think you have to have some kind of a different type of hobby. I think that's good for us.
I enjoy auctions as a hobby.
What's that?
I enjoy going to auctions as a hobby.
Right.
But I've been going to auctions since I was a kid. That's like a thing.
Right. Horrible, scary gun, safe place. Yeah, I have my gun in a pretty, it's not in a lockbox. I don't have kids here. When I leave, my doors are locked. you know, I just don't. Of course, if I have my grandkids here, of course I would, you know, keep it in a lock box with, you know, a safety on it and all that. But there's no need to do that. So, yeah, Jack Smack says he feels naked without his. That's kind of the way I want, you know.
I'm not really a gun person.
I never thought that I would be. So it's weird that I am. But
It's the 45th anniversary of The Godfather.
of the what?
Godfather.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, a bunch of them. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Talia Shire. They were on Good Morning America. Or not Good Morning America. What is this? Today. Sorry. I like that movie.
Oh, I like it too.
I love Al Pacino. And Robert De Niro.
Let's see, going on Grumpy. Order a gun to go off. You need, in order for a gun to go off, you need two things: a finger to activate and trigger, and trigger, no finger on the trigger. Right, and that's you know, I pretty much trained myself when I was using it to, you know, to keep my finger off of the trigger. So, and you're right. I mean, there's no reason for it to go off if you don't have your.
So you have your permit to carry?
What's that?
You have your permit to carry?
In Kansas, you actually don't have to have a permit.
Oh.
So,
Me and my daughter were thinking about going through that class and getting it, but I don't know.
I've actually considered going to the class, even though I don't need the certificate, you know, to carry. I think it would be, you know, probably good just to learn kind of about safety, and it can't be a bad thing.
No, if it's a good instructor that teaches you familiarity,
You know,
teaches you how to break one down, that's where you're going to become more comfortable. Is number one, just firing, handling.
right.
Carrying. I mean, it's just, there's no, I mean, Lord, you look at the military, that's when they introduce people to guns, that's basically what they do. You're just basically they're going to give you your weapon, and you're going to keep messing with it until you're completely comfortable with it, you know.
Right.
But I don't, there's just really not that's about the only way.
Yeah.
And it's just something you gotta get in there and do. And I think there's also a different little bit of, I know years ago I was always more comfortable carrying a revolver than I was semi-automatics, just because there was more I felt more comfortable with it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was when I was, I don't know, 22, 23.
Yeah.
Plus, when the zombie apocalypse gets here, I'm going to use a katana anyway, so. I need to know how to shoot a gun.
Oh.
I think these buyers that with their offers put things like, it's for a charity auction, or I'm the director of a nonprofit and it's for whatever. Do you think people just do that to try to, I mean, I know the general consensus is going to be that people do, but, and I see it, I mean, it could be totally be legit. But do you get that a lot, or occasionally, where they'll like submit an offer, like, so I got an offer like that on something, and they're like, it's for a charity auction, and I started right back and go, but it was a decent offer, and I wanted to get rid of the item, and so I was like, okay, but you know, every bit of me is kind of tempted to write back and be like, hey, guess what? I'm a nonprofit too, you know.
Yeah.
Some months I feel like it.
I know. I've gotten that probably Probably about 6 or 7 times since I've been starting on eBay.
I mean, don't.
People give you some big story that they're.
It's like,
Or the big one is teachers. Oh, I'm a teacher, and I would love to have this for my students, and the school won't buy these, so we have to buy things ourselves, and blah 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 blah.
Which I feel bad because teachers, you know, in a lot of states are underpaid. I know here they are, of course. It's also Alabama, but you know they're way underpaid for what they really do.
And me too, but really and truly, that's not my problem. I'm a reseller, you know.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, I have charities that we do donate to that are causes that I believe in.
Yeah.
There are causes that I believe in. As much as I'd like to help your charity, I'm just not able to. I still have to make a living. You know?
Exactly.
But I seem like, I don't know, the majority of the time, it's a decent offer to begin with, so there's really not any point in going there. I just kind of overlooked their little blurb about, you know, this is for the save the homeless animals or whatever.
It's for the children.
It's for the children. For the children of America. And by doing this, you would help to make America greater. Now, if they ever did something like that, by accepting this offer, you will blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Now you're pulling over.
And it's like,
Now,
you
there's
have to give me
sometimes
that whole backstory. Just give me a decent offer. I'll give it to you. I'll let you have it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there have been times where, you know, like somebody's wanted this, I think it was a t-shirt or something, and it had something like, you know, about veterans or something like that. And there was a guy that, you know, messaged me and he says, yeah, I'm a veteran, I'm on a fixed income. And I'm sure that whole message is like, you know, a dime a dozen. But I just have a soft heart for that. And, you know, yeah, I, you know, took what he offered, and it probably was a low ball offer, but.
And this is probably not going to be popular, and I probably shouldn't say it. And I am so thankful for the veterans and those that defended our country. So don't get me wrong, but I really don't like pulling the card. It depends on the situation. You know, it depends on the situation, this particular situation. And that's just not with veterans in general, but when people pull the, well, I'm this card, you should help me. Or, well, you know, I'm a police officer. It's like, really? Okay, so you have a job.
Right.
You know, I thank you for what you do, but you get paid to do what you do. You know, I don't, that's going to sound really ugly, but it rubs me a little the wrong way sometimes when people pull the card and it feels like they're pulling the card. You know what I mean?
Well, that's like my husband's uncle. He's a Vietnam veteran. Lost his leg because of the war and stuff, and he wears his hat, you know, Vietnam veteran or whatever. But he doesn't play that card, you know. But people walk up to him and thank him, and sometimes people even buy him lunch, you know. And I think that's wonderful, you know. I mean, it's about time that the Vietnam veterans are starting to get treated decent, you know. And I think that's wonderful. But yeah, he doesn't go around saying, well, I'm a Vietnam veteran. What are you going to give me for free? You know? But I've bought lunch and coffee for veterans many times over too. You know, I mean, it's, you know, I respect them and whatever, but.
I did have a lady one time. It was on some video game systems. It was about 5-6 years ago, I think, and we had a really good week. We had been really blessed, and it was some old Nintendo systems, and you know, 5 years ago, the retro stuff didn't really bring as much like it does now. It seems to do a little better now, but you know, she wrote me and told me this story, and it was that she ran a children's home, and she was trying to come up with something for Christmas for all the kids that they could really enjoy. Here's a link to our website. Back then, you could put links in your eBay messages. You know, here's my name if you want to check it out. Here's my phone number if you'd like to call the home and talk. I'm not asking for anything, but is there any way you could work with me a little bit on price? Because back then, I think maybe I didn't have best offer on it or whatever. And, you know, and we had a good week, and I had a bunch of systems that I had bought, and I ended up just sending her a whole bunch of stuff. And I actually refunded all her money in full after she bought it and just gave it to her for free. And I was like, you know what? I sent a little handwritten letter with it, and she sent me a thank you card back. It was signed by all the kids and all that. And I was like, you know what? That's paying it forward. But I think it was the way that she presented it.
Yeah.
That it wasn't, you know.
Well, I mean, yeah, we'd never make any money.
Pulling a card.
Yeah.
Speaking of pulling a card,
we'd never make any money if we constantly did that. But yeah, once in a while, there's nothing wrong with doing it, even if we are taken. But she seemed to have all of her ducks in a row, so.
Yeah. She knew the right way to present it. So.
Yeah.
My God, look at us.
Everybody I know, all in red.
That's cool.
Except for Tara. Tara screwed it up.
Only the important people.
Screwed it up. Well,
Tara screwed it up. Go change your shirt.
Plan this out? Did you plan
this out? No.
No.
Maybe y'all got a psychic link.
We should have did it on March 13th for Red Nose Day, and all wore our red noses too.
Tara's always gloomy. She's like that cartoon Caroline.
Gloomy, yes. I'm doom and gloom.
Actually, my shirt is pink, so.
It's
Morning,
cute.
Natalie.
I want that shirt. Send it to me.
And how's the yard sale go?
Ooh, I like that. It's very cute.
how'd your yard sale go, Sally?
Yeah.
Getting rained out. Supposed to have it today too, and we're rained out today and yesterday.
That sucks.
Yeah. But I did get a haul yesterday.
Oh boy.
My brother-in-law told me to come over to his shed and look through the stuff that I wanted, and whatever I wanted I could keep. So I opened the shed, see is a box of freaking slides. And I'm like, oh, those are mine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably eight things. Carousels of slides. And we have Walt Disney World, Florida. We have what is that? What was that place, Valerie? The Gardens place in Florida.
Busch
Gardens.
Cypress Gardens.
What time period?
70s, 77. What was it? I have 72, 74, 77. And that's all I found so far. I haven't even been through 3/4 of them.
Yeah. But I mean, just at what you went through, I mean, you had some really good, those like water skiing,
stunts,
like pyramids and stuff like. I mean, they were doing water tricks basically.
Yeah. Like a human pyramid with women in the 70s.
Cypress Gardens was, and they do the boat shows and stuff. I had some of those, and I think I did really well with them.
Cool.
May end up having to kind of lot them together a little more. You probably don't have a slide scanner or anything, do you?
All I have is one of those old, they're like, it's like to put a whole reel through.
Right. Projector.
That's all I have.
What you can do is take one of the easiest way to do it without having one is take if you have a lamp in your house, pretend like this is your lamp. Yeah. Pretend like this is your lampshade.
Mm-hmm.
And lampshades always have that hole up top, the light comes out of. Put a piece of white copy paper over the top of it. Lay your slide on that. Use something that has good resolution, like maybe your phone camera. And you can usually get in, and it creates enough backlight by the light coming up that way. You can get a pretty decent picture of a slide by using that hole in the top of the lampshade.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to try that. I was just using. I have a. It's just a regular portable lamp, but it has small holes up on the top, and then it has that knob in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll have to see if I can find something else that I can look through. I mean, for now, all I'm doing is like holding it up to the light, and I can see what it is.
Right.
Right.
So,
Mm-hmm.
so that's what I'm doing for now, and trying to separate. I'm putting them into white envelopes and labeling them, what they are
Right.
for right now. But because I didn't know if I should write on them or not. I don't think I
No.
should. Probably,
I
right?
wouldn't. But you may do better on the Disney and stuff. Time-wise, you may do better lotting them together in like lots of 12, lots of 10 or 12. Same thing with Cypress Garden.
Yeah.
You can try doing them individually. Depends on how clear they are. Depends on like the film that was used, whether or not, because sometimes if it's not a high-quality film or if they've been kept somewhere that's not very climate controlled and had humidity, they'll have fungus or mold.
Yeah.
Some of the lower quality films that can get a purple tint or an orange tint, the film will turn purple or orange. But if it was good film that was used, then it'll have really, like Kodachrome will have really good color to it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them, it looks like, is in really good condition. There's some that have mold on them, like on the corners of the white paper, Then there's some that I've had to throw away because they're just, you can't see them. It's, there's some like water damage or something there. So, I mean, it's very little though. And most of them look really good, actually.
Margot was saying that Cypress Gardens is no longer there.
Oh.
It's actually Legoland now.
Oh.
Huh. I didn't know it was in the same place.
That's cool. That makes it even better.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a lot of not a lot of, but envelope full of wedding photos. There's probably half a carousel full of wedding photos from the 70s. I'm just wondering if those will do okay. There's some cars in them and women in dresses and
probably not as much. I would definitely probably lock those up, take a picture of the few highlights and like a lot of wedding slides from the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
What about the cards and stuff though? And
you could try it. I've just never, the stuff that I've always had luck with, as far as
of course, the cards are all decorated too. That wouldn't work.
Has been more like Disney and stuff like that.
Yeah, I thought about getting a slide scanner. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to afford that yet or not, but we'll see. Maybe. Well, maybe I'll find one somewhere.
That's right.
I've seen them, many of them in the Goodwills.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the older ones, but they'll still work.
Yeah, I have one of those already. I have one of the ones that you put the reel through and you can, view them, but with them being individual, you can't use that, I don't think.
Right.
Oh, I mean, I have seen the individual ones there, and they're cheap usually.
Oh.
So you got to make sure they're complete, or at least have the password.
Yeah. Well, if that's the case, then I probably should be able to find one on eBay or something for pretty cheap.
Yeah. I would definitely look it up. I think that would help, help me.
I've never tried it, but do you think you could scan it on your scanner?
I don't know. You might be able to.
Yeah, scanner. Do you mean like a flatbed scanner?
Yeah, just a regular scanner. Yeah, on
they
your
need-
printer.
flatbed scanners usually came with a little attachment that would hold like X amount of slides that you could put into it.
Now, Eric, who's not here this morning, or he could tell us more about it, just bought, correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, but he just bought a flatbed scanner specifically made for slides. I mean, he paid decent money for it, but he had all those slides, those art slides and stuff, and he was like, here's the deal. If I buy it, yeah, it's a couple $100 or whatever he paid for it, but I can sell it for that when I'm done with it, and it's going to pay for itself.
Oh.
You know?
That's the first I've heard about it. That's cool.
Yeah, he has a really nice high-tech, I can't remember which one it is. Where are you, Eric? We know you're listening.
He needs something because he has like a bazillion slides.
Yeah, I mean, it was spinning, you know, he spin up on it, but it was brilliant because he just, you know, it's on something that's going to pay for itself.
Yeah. I have one of those light things that you just put them in the. It's for organizing your slides, and it's just a light up thing that stands up, and you can put them in their little. It has like little grooves along the edge, or along, like little shelves, like almost, and you put them in there, and they light up. So I just use that. I was gonna sell it one time. It was worth like, I don't know, at the time, this was a few years ago, it was like worth like 40 or 50 bucks. And I was gonna sell it, and then I thought, you know, I keep getting all these boxes of slides. I should keep this.
Yeah.
So is this a new thing with eBay now? Now you get an extra email when somebody pays for an item? It started, is anybody in the audience getting that in the last 24, 48 hours?
He said he noticed it last night.
It said something like yay comment. It said like yay, so and so paid.
Yeah.
It's like a real stupid, like
Yeah,
yay, someone
so-
paid or
So
something.
now you're going to get your item sold, you're going to get that one, and you're going to get one from PayPal.
Right.
Oh, it's from.
So you get two from it. When you sell an item, you get two from eBay now. I got to figure out how to turn that crap off.
Yeah, you can turn it off. I did it a long time ago. I only get PayPal
And it's simple.
You
The
could
Simcoe's black, that's for
you
sure.
could totally decide which notifications you get. I think.
Yeah, but can you decide specifically down to?
Usually, I
Yeah.
think you can decide when you sell an item, if you get one when someone pays, if you get one when someone makes a bid. Different ones like that.
Jack Smack. Matt Plunder said yes. Jack Smack. Oh no, he was saying yes to something else. Jack Smack said something new. Now you get 3 emails. Thank you, eBay, for making something that was already working so much better.
Well,
We're constantly. I like their app updates when you like go to the app store, and I always look at the updates to see it'll tell you what the fixes were. And it'll be like, we're constantly improving our app to make your life easier. And it's like, well, tell me what you're doing. Because now
That's
my
some of the stuff.
Makes it harder.
cha-chinger didn't work this weekend, and that was aggravating. I had to
Oh, I bet.
uninstall and reinstall the app.
Somebody's got some really bad interference.
I think it's Aaron. I am going.
I feel like I'm in a wind tunnel.
Yeah, there's like some
I see you're
static
cleaning.
going on.
Unmute. I'm just cleaning set.
All right.
You're okay. Wow, I didn't realize how loud it was. That was really quiet. No, not the PayPal one, Megan. You'll get one from eBay that says, congratulations, your item sold. You'll get another one, then they pay, and you'll get one from PayPal that says, payment received. And then you'll get another one from eBay again that says, your buyer has paid. You may ship now.
Oh, I don't get a payment.
That's the new one that I want to get rid of.
I also have a lot of the slides in these little adapters in the hard ones. And they don't have a date on them. But it says adapter for 2x2 adapter for 110 slides.
So that's 110 film, which were the little like kind of Instamatic.
Yeah, the picture's smaller. Picture is smaller.
If you want to read those slides, just hold a candle to it real close.
Who do you think you're talking to, buddy?
The same person that broke that last item you were trying to...
Shut up. Shut up. Nobody asked you.
It's too funny.
Oh,
did you send that to me, Matt?
Jason Hobber says, Dusty, my eBay app used to do that all the time. I figured out instead of uninstalling the eBay app each time, just go to settings and turn off notifications from eBay, then turn them back on and it fixes it.
Yep.
Nice. And the cha-ching thing, yeah, it's motivational to hear that. My thing was when you get offers on stuff, I wasn't getting any notification. And it never fails. I have somebody make an offer in the last 5 minutes before the item ends, and then you don't catch it, and you're like, crap, and you have to mail them, email them and tell them, hey, I've relisted it, and yada, yada, yada.
Just get in the habit of checking your phone every 5 minutes, because that's how often you get a friggin'...
Listen, mister, sitting in the hangout with you last night, and your phone's going, ba-ram, 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 ba-ram.
My bad. Sorry.
Nice.
I know. I have, what is it now? 38 items to ship today.
Ooh. Better get busy, boy.
Yeah, that's why I'm going in late. You'd think it would be the other way around, but...
Yeah,
The dread of shipping.
I know. There's a couple of big ones.
He was at his warehouse late. I mean, I kept looking at the time, and you're on Eastern time. You're an hour ahead of me thinking, man, you're there late tonight. You're there till 11, maybe?
No, I think I left around 8 something. Wasn't that
No,
late?
it's 9 because my auction ended it. Yeah, it might have been. Okay.
And maybe it wasn't later than 9, definitely. Yeah, it was actually, I think it was 9 something. Well, I had the auctions end, and then I had to send the combined shipping invoices, and then I got caught into something else, and next thing you know, I'm there longer.
Hey, Eric.
Yeah.
They were asking about slides, and I don't know if you heard it, but I was telling them about your slide scanner that you had to pay up and paid a little money for a slide scanner, but it's going to pay for itself. And then worst case, it's worth what you paid for. You could turn around and resell it when you're done.
Yeah, I bought the Epson Perfection V550 Photo, and I have a slide scanner. I have a little tiny film to plus USB slide scanner that I was using, which was fine. But what I found when I bought all those a bunch of negatives and some higher quality slides, I decided to kind of up my game a little bit. And so, yeah, I paid $200 for it. But
holy crap! And Eric's the guy that's usually like very conservative out of all of us.
I'm a cheap bastard. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But I shopped. Believe me, I shopped hard, and I thought about getting one used. I'm like, you know what? $200. I bought the warranty, which is because it's a scanner. I figure I'd buy the warranty on it, which cost me an extra like $30. But anything goes wrong with it in the next 2 years, it gets paid. I get a new one or I get a check for it. So
where did you buy it? Amazon?
No, I actually bought it local. I bought it at Staples.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, it does amazing quality. I mean, I did some slides at the highest quality, and it would literally take 15 minutes to scan one slide.
I don't know if that's a good bet, Eric. I bet the chances of Staples going out of business before that warranty expires is pretty good.
Yeah, remember Staples doesn't run the warranty.
Oh, okay.
It's a separate service. So no matter, even if Staples goes out, it doesn't make any difference because the warranty is covered by somebody else, and they would just send me a check at that point, obviously. So
Right.
Is the next? What is the next best thing?
what kind of slides? What
You
kind
know,
of slides?
besides that, besides spending $200 on a piece of equipment, what's the next best thing?
Well, this scanner here was $60.
Okay.
Okay, and this will do 5 megapixel and 10 megapixel, which is perfectly adequate for eBay.
Okay.
But I can't do negatives on this one, so that's why I kind of changed what I was doing with it.
Okay.
You looking to sell that one, Eric?
I hadn't really thought about it, to be honest. The next, what I've seen a lot of people doing is they get one of the, I have one over here. It's a slide organizer, and it's basically just a light box, and it has a light bulb through a like a not a clear but a translucent piece of plexiglass, and you just stack your slides up and you take photos of it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those.
That's
Those
what
are real cheap.
My husband made me one of those for negatives.
The slides will do just fine on those.
Oh, okay.
Now, if your camera can get in close, I mean, you want to be able to isolate a single slide and everything. That's
right. For
an eBay sale, that's fine. If you're going to sell individual slides, or if you're going to sell a group, you can certainly do that as well. What kind of slides did you get?
There's all kinds of stuff. There's these ones from the Gardens place. What is it called? I keep forgetting what it's called.
Cypress Gardens.
Cypress Gardens in Florida. And they have like a whole bunch of jet ski tricks, this is in the 70s.
Okay.
And then mostly my stuff is I found stuff that's 69 and then 72, 74, 77. A lot of Walt Disney World, Florida.
Okay, that'll be good.
Yeah. Just random ones, airplanes in the sky, airplanes on the ground, family with a yellow house.
Money.
What?
Planes seem to bring the most money. Planes and trains.
I do have some trains too.
So
I also have
where the dollars are at.
I have some with Japan somewhere. Because that's what was labeled on the box.
Are they all 35 millimeter, or are you got a mix of 110s and 35s?
There's these ones with the adapter.
Yeah, those are 110s.
Yep, and then there's these.
Yeah, those are 35s. The 110s are not quite as desirable.
No.
No.
Okay.
It's hard to digitize a 110 because there's just not that much information there.
Yeah.
Great to project, but not so much. Now, does your projector work?
I have that slide projector, the one that you put the reel through. But yeah. I don't even know how to use that with something like this.
YouTube is your friend.
Huh?
YouTube is your friend. I'm sure somebody's got a YouTube video on how to use the damn thing.
No, but I didn't think that you could use those with individual slides.
Well, you don't have any of the rail boxes or anything?
No.
Oh, I got like 800 of them.
All I have is the carousels that are full of slides.
So the carousels came with that projector, but not. Don't go.
No. The projector didn't come with it. I had the projector for a long time. So yeah, I don't have any reels. Yeah.
Okay.
All I have is slides. Probably like 8. I have 8 carousels and I have a little box.
What projector do you have?
A slide projector takes instead of using a carousel, it takes a straight box.
Magazine.
Oh.
Yeah, magazine. You slide it in and go through the whole magazine.
I have some of those magazines, I think. Let me look. I'll look a little later. Send you some if I do.
Okay.
Make sure the projector works first, though. Both good.
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's camping trips, you know, with families, and I have
Well,
wedding photos, and
You're gonna separate those out. Planes on the ground would be, I would sell singly. Trains I would sell by themselves.
okay.
I would lot up like the Cypress Gardens. I would lot up Walt Disney, unless
I
it's
do
a really
Disney and
cool Walt
smaller.
Disney.
I do Disney in smaller lots, though. I do about 10 or 12 to a lot.
Yeah, and what you have. I mean, I don't know how many Disney shots you have and what you've got, but I
Yeah,
would,
like there's a couple with like there's one with the 3 pigs. There's one with, you know, some other character, whatever.
Ideally,
There's one with Mickey Mouse.
it'd be really cool if you had some that like the rides that are no longer there. That's what people are going to really want. But again, it's you know, you kind of figure out, you see what goes with what, and then kind of sell it that way. And then, like I said, the other ones you just kind of build, you know, lots of
Yeah. And
lots of
also
15 or 20 for things that aren't quite as interesting.
also what it looks like is, okay, there's slides that of Walt Disney World that the people had taken, and then there's this lot of slides that looks like they have been bought at Walt Disney
Yeah,
World.
those are pretty common. Those aren't really worth anything.
Yeah.
You can list them, but you lot them together and don't get really picky on pictures because
Yeah.
those were just souvenir things.
Sally, you were
Right.
saying that you had some from like Japan, like war military stuff too.
Yeah.
So that I think those would do good too.
Yeah, anything old Japan's going to be good, and especially with global shipping, people like that will buy that stuff up. So
Yeah.
yeah, it takes a while to sell slides. I mean, you don't get a whole lot of action on them because not everybody's looking for them. But if you got good subject matter and it's what people want, they'll pay up for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just hard to put a price on them. So a lot of people actually auction them,
Right.
and I'm not a fan of that.
So I have those, and then I also have a lot of old pictures from Japan. Just, this is their army or something. Looks like there's a lot of like
probably police department. Is there a date on any of these pictures? That looks like 60s.
Yeah, I found 60s, and I also found late 50s, I think 58, 52, personal photo.
Let me see the 52.
Huh?
The one from 52.
Yeah, what about it?
I like to see it.
It's a person.
Ah, okay.
That boy grew up to be a serial killer.
Yeah. You remember in 52, Japan was still under the Marshall Plan, so yeah, they were still being basically bossed around by us.
Yeah. There's one, I know that there's one of like the quarters for very VIP or whatever in the military, I think.
The VIP room at the strip club.
VIP, yeah, VIP military quarters house or something. I don't know if I have those out right now. Let's see if this one. This one says 61.
Back it up a little bit. Back it up.
Back it up.
There you go. Right about there. There you go. Yeah. Those are pretty cool. Yeah, to get value out of those, you're probably going to have to lot those together. Is that San Francisco?
I'm not sure if that's the San Francisco Bridge or if it's the Mackinac Bridge.
It's not the Mackinac Bridge. I don't think it's the San Francisco either. It's not big enough. Probably, if it's in those same photos, it's probably a bridge in Japan somewhere. So.
Yeah. Yeah, just a lot of randomness.
Well, I would definitely lot all those together and put a decent price on them and figure out what your main photo. You got to find the coolest one's going to be your main photo.
What about newspaper clippings?
I've never really found them to be much worth, but make a lot of them.
Yeah. I did find some on the backs of what they had saved. I found like some old ads. I thought they were really cool.
I love looking through old newspapers. It's amazing.
I
Me
know.
too.
It's
Yeah.
pretty crazy. These I think are from 41, 50.
What do the clippings have to do with anything?
A lot of it is about a guy that played football for Ottawa, or Owasso. Owasso.
What, Japanese football?
No, it's Owasso. I think it's somewhere in Michigan.
Oh,
What was his name?
I thought Owasso was in Wisconsin.
Let me see. Let me see if I can find him. Horace Holland.
Horace Holland.
Yep. HORACE HOLLAND.
Oh, Owasso is in Oklahoma.
there's in Owasso, Michigan too.
Is there?
I think so.
Oh. Didn't think there was.
Thanks, Ron. Let's see.
And I think I found the year 42 on that stuff.
That's kind of cool. That you might be able to sell that.
Because I mean, you could tell with their uniforms, they're really old, you know.
Yeah.
I'd probably lot all that football stuff together. Keyword Owasso, wherever it is, Michigan. Put that in the title because it's like with slides or postcards or whatever. There's people that collect things of like special interest to their area. Like one time I put a collage of like really cool Huntsville places together for Tristan. No, I did Nashville for her because we had taken a really cool trip to Nashville, and so I found postcards of all the places we visited. But the
That
postcard
would be
back then.
This is his letter,
that will be worth money.
and it's got a leather football embroidered into it.
Mm-hmm.
That was very cool.
And this is for track because he did track also.
Yep.
So
I would,
I thought that was pretty cool.
especially if you know he's from the 40s. I would probably put all that together, and I would probably put that, run around. I'd probably ask right around $100 for it at least.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more, depends on what else you have. But
Just a lot of newspaper clippings. Some of his, actually, I think I have a certificate. Just, I was trying to go through everything yesterday, and it was like, oh my God, there's so much here, you know.
It's hard when you're not used to being upside down.
I think by now,
I like being upside down, damn it.
Ephemera, pictures, and slides can all be just a big rabbit hole.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, you just get so involved in it, and it can just be an hours and hours and hours of a project, just looking through the stuff, not actually
Yep.
doing anything.
Well, as long as there's some money at the bottom of the rabbit hole and you're
Yeah,
enjoying
I'm
it.
fine with that. I am definitely fine with that.
But it's a
The problem with it is you're like, oh, this was so interesting, and you start looking into it, you start researching stuff, and you're looking at more stuff. What else am I gonna find? And yeah, I can really.
You can get lost.
Yeah, you can. Why do they have fat women on the TV with swimsuits on? Gross.
John Smith, I was the one that was looking at slide scanners. It's going like way fast.
Yeah.
Really? I haven't even looked at the chat today. Let's see.
It's like flowing.
We woke everybody up, huh?
If you have a item number that you want me to look at, can you contact me on Facebook maybe and give that to me, or you can give it to me in the group chat or the room chat. I mean, yeah, or send me a message on Facebook or however you want to do it. I am definitely looking.
Huh.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, there's going to be. I have so many of Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
That's for sure. That I can put into lots.
Yeah.
You know, there's also like there's random pictures too that sell for. The one that I seen yesterday was. I think it was listed for $5.99. $5.99 is what it sold for with $2.99 shipping. And all it was a boat on the water. You know, like 3 people, like a mom, dad, daughter type deal. And they're just in a boat on the water.
Yeah.
Out fishing or something, you know. And, you know, it sold for that much. Hey, I'm perfectly fine with those rates. You know, especially for just random photos.
What about my homework, Dad? You can do it on the boat. Don't ask me why. I have to go watch that now.
Funny that your dog was snuggling up to you the other day because Jessica took him to the groomer.
You guys know more about my life than I do. I swear, Jess must post all this. I don't look at Facebook.
Are you finally friends with her on Facebook?
No.
I am, yeah. Oh, you're not, Jason?
No, I don't really use my personal
what the hell's wrong with you?
Page. I don't really pay much attention to it.
Well,
instead of Blue Moon, I'll post something.
I see.
So
well, do you want to know what you're?
It's like every once in a while
Life
you're like, "Oh, how is this?" And I'm like, "I don't remember telling anyone."
John Smith says the scanner I mentioned allows you to scan the slider negative and permit you to print a high quality photo of any size your printer allows.
Yeah, he mentioned the HP's printer. It was the ScanJet. I saw it. $37.50 or something like that. I mean, there's lots of different. I mean, if you're just looking for basic scanning, as long as you get one that can do slides, you're fine. But 3570C. But you can pick that up on eBay for like $20.
Huh.
I wanted a really high quality one.
Yeah, I mean, I want something that's going to work for me, definitely. But I gotta keep it cheap.
Well, if you've done negatives before with the sheet and everything, that's perfectly fine for eBay. You know, because I mean, how often are you going to buy slides?
What's that?
How often are you going to run into slides? That's kind of what you have to think about.
This is the first time I've found slides, so.
Yeah.
But
you want to invest $20, $50, $70, $100 something that you're going to use,
Or just
possibly never use it again.
Or just use a homemade light box method.
Yeah.
I would probably.
Or the
just
candle.
that or one of the cheapo slide viewers.
Yeah, and I have a little slide viewer that I love. It's actually great for going through slides quick. And you can pick these. I got this at the thrift store. You can pick these things up really quick, and you could actually just take a photo of that.
Yeah.
And it's actually backlit, and you can sit there and it'll let you flip through a bunch of slides and do a lot of photos right off the bat. So.
What is that called?
This is a Agfa Scope 200. Here, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
I have a bunch of little Panaview viewers. I could send you one.
Well, I mean, I have these now, and then I also have. I was talking to my brother-in-law yesterday, and he's gonna keep doing the whole thing with the storage unit, and he says when stuff all year long. I have stuff, and I'm like, well, I'm really interested in these slides. That's one thing I'm interested in. I like pictures and I like slides, and
They
never can get those
really fast. You got to be diligent about getting them up.
He can't do anything with the shit, so of course he's gonna pass it on to me.
No, like I said, it's a good stream of income. I've made a lot of good money off of slides.
Me too. I used to get slides a lot more, but now that there's a lot more eBay sellers at the auctions I go to, I don't get slides as much anymore.
Yeah, you have to pay up for them. But you can buy a box of slides that has 1,000 or 2,000 slides. You got to pay $50 for it. Is it worth it? Might be.
I don't see them as much anymore at the auctions like I used to.
Yeah. So you never know if I'm able to get more or not,
I have like
It would be nice to have something. Well, it would be nice to have something, handy. That way, if you do get some in,
true,
that you could process them.
Well, if you think about it, though, if it's something you enjoy selling, if you can get something that's going to be adequate for you, it's a tool. It's like any other part of your business. It's like a printer. It's a label printer. It's a monitor. It's something like that. It's a part of your business. You're going to write it off anyway, but it's something you need to continue the business. And so you spend $50, let's say, or $60 on a slide scanner. You sell one or two slides that are worth that amount. It's paid for at that point. Now, all my equipment is paid for. This slide scanner is paid for from the stuff I've sold off of it. So I'm not really worried about. Every now and then you got to spend a little money on a tool.
Ain't that the truth?
Mm-hmm. Jason's whole business model.
Yeah, try to be the person that's selling the tools.
Well, think about Jason sells parts to machines that make tools. And so those guys are actually, when they buy something from Jason, they're using it to make money.
Yeah.
For the most part. Some people are hobbyists, obviously, but a lot of these guys are in a business and they need that part to get their machine up and running so they can make more money. That's all you're doing. You're buying something to help you make money. No different than paying your eBay fees or buying a new camera. You kind of have to look at it like that.
Right.
Sometimes I need special equipment or stuff, and you just buy it. It'll pay for itself,
Yeah, how many times have you had to buy a very certain tool that you may never use again, but damn it, if you do need it.
Oh, sure. Or even say like I have an ultrasonic machine that I use to clean like gear grease and plastic components. I mean, yeah, I think when I bought it, they were really expensive, about $500 back like 5 years ago. But I've made so much money off that thing; it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it just pays for itself in the first whatever few
we
months.
were laughing about your hydraulic cart, your lift cart.
Oh yeah, that thing, Jesus, that like you can't even put a price on that because it saves my back from getting like.
I know. I mean, just thinking about how wonderful that thing would be to be moving even just heavy boxes.
Oh yeah,
Take them off the back of your truck, you drop them down, you roll it into your, if you work, especially if you work out of a garage or a shop or something.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I have steps I got to go up and down, so that doesn't do me much good. But it'd be nice because I mean I pick some pretty heavy stuff up at times. So.
And for me, the alternative is if I didn't have that cart, I'd actually have to break the machine apart while I'm there picking it up, which is a pain in the ass because you obviously have like the homeowner or whoever's running the sales they're breathing down your neck all day.
Yeah.
Fun.
Let's see.
Thought you liked it when you break down your neck.
Sorry.
Only you, Dusty.
Oh, that just got weird.
Yep, those two are snuggle bunnies, that's for sure. Right.
Yeah. Natalie said, Valerie, do you feel like upgrading your pool is worth it? Do you notice a difference in sales? I'm really close to trying it out for a month. It's so expensive though. I think it's just I didn't have the best sales this month. And but I do notice, I mean, I would have still had those listings going through, and I would still have the listing charges, whether or not I sold a lot or not. And so that has definitely helped me because I would have spent that money anyway. And I was, to me, it wasn't that I got a bunch of sales. It was just more of kind of evening out what I was already spending and getting more for my money. That's the way I look at it. Now, in the upcoming months, that hopefully that's going to change where I will get, some more sales and I think it definitely allows me to, list kind of to my heart's content, rather than being, concerned about what to list and, if I should list or wait to the beginning of the month or, whatever. So
Right.
that's the way I think of it. And, there was also the $150 discount. I mean, that, that saved me, in supplies. And so I think that was definitely worth it.
Oh. At some point, you have to stop being afraid of expanding.
Right.
Just do it. Go with it and do it.
Yep, I completely agree. I think you just have to kind of cut to the chase and just do it, and that it's best for your business. And right off the bat, I didn't have extravagant sales and everything, but
Well, like I told you, Valerie, that time, look how easy it is to make the $300 a month.
Yeah.
To at least make $300 a month is pretty easy.
Right. Yeah.
No matter what you sell, it's pretty easy to make $300 a month to cover the cost. So.
Right. Yeah, I don't regret it. I think it was a good move. Like I was looking at my my listings for the month, and I had 3,400 March. So, you know,
How much?
3,400.
3,400 things that you listed? Like that,
No,
that were
because I do the 7-day.
right. Oh,
So
right.
I used up 3,400 listings
I see what you're saying.
for the month.
Sorry, I'm not completely awake yet, I guess.
That's okay.
I just bought one of those things that you have, Eric.
Oh, okay.
You did?
Yeah.
That's good.
What thing?
The electric slide viewer.
Nice.
It's AGFASCOP. Agfoscope. Agfoscope?
Yep.
Did you get a pretty good deal on it, or?
Yeah, I paid $8 with 8 something shipping, so
That's not bad.
Cool. That's awesome.
yeah. It's good. Excuse me.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, about, you know, Natalie and you know, Megan, everybody, you know, that's the thing about, you know, spending that $300, and you know, that sounds like a lot, and I completely agree. I, you know, fussed with it for so long, you know, going back and forth and wondering if I, you know, but it's a cost of doing business. I mean, it's just like,
Yeah.
it's just like, I kind of look at it as rent, you know, that's what it is. And so you have to, you know, if you want your business, that's what you're going to have to do. And you're going to have to expand, and you're going to have to grow. And you're not, if you're growing, you're going to pay more money. That's just the way it goes. Just like if you make more money, more, you know, the more money you make, the more money you spend. So.
And it's a small price compared to if you were to open a brick and mortar.
Right. Oh yeah.
Paying a heck of a lot more out if you had a brick and mortar store and you don't have even close to the views as you do on eBay.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to my dad, or Sally's dad, actually.
No, your dad. My dad.
Anyway, I was talking to him the other day, and he does flea markets. He goes and sells at flea markets, and usually it's like 2 to 3 times a week. You know, my dad's almost 70 years old, and so he, you know, he loads this stuff up, he puts it out for sale, and he loads it back up, you know. And I told him, I said, when I come to California, I said, I'm going to get you on eBay. And I said, you know, you're going to be just amazed at how much better. You know, yeah, he sells a lot of big things also. But, you know, you can do Craigslist, you can do, you know, there's other options to that too. So,
well, he was doing that one site, wasn't he? Where he was putting things, he did a couple of things where he put things online, and I don't think it was a Facebook group, it was some kind of app. But
I sell big stuff on eBay all the time.
He only did a few things, and you know, he didn't really describe it, you know, he just basically named it and said his price, and that was it. And you know, just got to kind of be a little bit different on that, you know, just, it's like you're talking to people, you know, it's not like, you know, you're just gonna, you know, put you're gonna put a description, you're not going to put a title, you know, you're gonna put, you know, you're gonna describe your item.
Yeah.
And he didn't do that.
And you know, it might be a struggle for him just because he's, you know, he's a little bit older and kind of set in his ways and everything. But you know, if I can show him how to do that, and he's willing to learn, I think, you know, I think it would make a difference.
Is he a computer guy already? Does he use a computer?
Not really.
Yeah, might be difficult.
So, but his wife does a lot on the computer. So I think between them two, I think they can make it work. I think.
Yeah. Tara,
Yeah.
how close are you to Nina?
About 2.5 hours.
Oh, there's a good auction over there, it looked like.
About 3 hours.
I don't remember when it ends.
There's a good auction in Eland too, which is about a little over an hour south of me.
Let me make sure it has an end before I tell you about it.
Oh, sorry, it's over.
Yeah, just kidding.
How much are these saddles? 35. I'll put them at 40 pounds. Oops, not one.
It was a good online auction. I'll have to look here. Let's see. Oh yeah,
I just got back from the horse auction, so I got a whole truckload of saddles I'm listing.
It ended. Let's see.
Now, does Jim try on those saddles for the photos?
No, they're little. No.
You ride him?
Yeah. I get out a whip in the black leather, and then I sit on his back, and then get a selfie stick and take our picture.
Selfie.
I thought you were going to say you grab the
That's
right.
how I would do it.
Comes down from there. So.
Yeah, and Jason.
Jim's there. Oops.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason. Just go up to a horse, put some water on its back, let it set for a little bit, and then take a nice long sniff of what the back of that horse smells like. These are used saddles. I'm definitely not putting something like that on my back.
It closes in like 5 hours.
I thought they called you Dirty Jim for a reason.
Yeah.
I have my limits.
He has his limits.
That's funny.
It closes in like 5 hours, but there was a lot of good stuff on there. I thought my husband. I didn't look at it all, but my husband thought there was a lot of good stuff on
I
there.
just spent like $500 on this horse auction, so I don't think I'm going to do an online auction and drive and get it.
So did you buy any horses?
No, there was nothing that tripped my trigger there. Actually, well, this is kind of boring for on here. I was glad to see horse prices are up, so maybe the economy is getting a little better. So, I don't know. I mean, for this auction, you get a lot of regular, just what I call regular riding horses, and actually their prices are up quite a bit from what they were. So maybe people got more money to spend.
Yeah.
Megan wants to know what you got.
Tara.
Tara.
I got 14 saddles. I got a mix of English and Western. I got a Steuben. I got another Corvette saddle. I got a show Western saddle. I got a vintage Simcoe. And then what I call clunkers. They're like these 1950s, early 60s retro looking saddles. But I do all right on those because a lot of people make them into bar stools or decoration. Or you get these, well, everybody probably has this. You get these like prop houses that watch your site, and then like if you go to Cracker Barrel or whatever, you know, and you see their decorations, well, they get like this catalog from these prop houses, and then they go buy out of it. So I've had a lot of those saddles go to like prop houses too. It's funny because we went to Disney, and when you stand in line, you go through like, let's say the Jungle Cruise. You got like all this like, just like vintage crap all over the place. And I always laugh at Jim. I'm like, I wonder how much of this stuff comes off of eBay, you know, for their decoration stuff.
Yeah. Oh, she's asking where you and Jim are at. They're in Wisconsin.
Yeah, my husband wanted me to bid on a bunch of stuff, but I was like, that's way over by Green Bay. That's like, what, 6 hours for me or 5
that'd be a lot.
hours?
Yeah, because I think you're about 3 hours east of me.
Yeah, I think it's like 5 or 6 hours over there.
Yeah.
You want to be buying right now, Nikki, when you're getting ready to take your trip and everything?
Not exactly. Well, I'm not worried about buying when I'm taking my trip, but
No, I mean, I know, but I mean, you're not in a listing mood right now, so.
No. No, but I have a big auction to go to next weekend that I'll be going to. Or this weekend, I should say. It's an annual auction I go to every year. And
Fun.
yeah. We get a lot of
That
good
was-
deals there, so don't miss out on that one.
Yeah. That was another thing that a friend of mine had mentioned to me, that, you know, besides the shooting and learning the gun and, you know, getting more comfortable with that and everything, I also wanted to learn how to weld, which is kind of odd, but
Welding's fun.
it's just something that I've always wanted to do. I don't want no certification. I don't want to really even, I don't want to work, and I don't want to do that for work. I just want to know how to do it.
Well, the best way to do it is to take a night, like they offer like night classes pretty much everywhere on welding. That's the best way to learn.
So I had found a class 50 miles away, one way, and it was a certification class, and it was I think $800 to $1,000, and I was like, well, there's no way I can do that, you know. But one, my friend, she actually had an idea. She's like, just go to like a welding shop and see if there's somebody there that might, you know, want to, you could be an apprentice, or, you know, just, you know, they can show you the basics. You know, maybe something like that. I don't know if that's like an insurance, like a liability or anything like that, but you know.
Well, I mean, there's when you take the class, I mean, they kind of walk you through the different types of welding, and mainly they do oxyacetylene and then MIG, and because MIG welding is pretty much what everybody wants to learn, because it's the easiest of all three, I think, to do.
Right.
You know, TIG welding is a little bit harder, a little bit more price, but you can buy a MIG welder at Harbor Freight for $100. I mean, that's what's kind of cool about it. But welding's fun. I mean, it's a blast. I mean, I taught my daughter how to weld, and we were working on her car, and she was underneath the car welding up, you know, some holes in the frame and everything. So I mean, it's a blast. I enjoy it, and I've got oxy, arc, and a MIG welding set up at my house. So.
Yeah, that was a plan for us for this place. Was we were going to set up kind of have like a lean-to shop back of the garage, and we were going to set up a welding station, you know, for me and everything. But you know, it's just something that I want to learn. My son-in-law, he actually gave me a couple of lessons or whatever, but you know, you got to have something. It's just like shooting. You got to learn how to you got to practice at it. So
Well, yeah, I mean, you can pick up a gun, someone can teach you the basics of shooting, and now you can shoot. You can you understand what you're doing, but you're not going to be any good at it unless you regularly practice. And
right.
I mean, I shoot probably once a month. I probably should shoot more, but it's pricey.
Right.
And you know, I used to shoot once a week when I was carrying a gun for a living, but now I like I said, once a month is all I shoot, and I do about 200 rounds a month. But then I have a 22 that kind of mimics my 9mm, so I can shoot that a lot cheaper as well, and it's you know, it does the same thing. That's kind of what you need to do. So I mean, if you're going to shoot, 22s are great to start with, you know, but they're not great protection rounds. But I don't want to get shot with a 22 either. But
right,
it's a blast. It's fun. And there's so many different types of shooting you can do. I mean, there's so many. I mean, just besides target shooting, you can get into. There's just so many different disciplines out there. Depends on what you like, and you might have to try them all to figure out which ones you want to do.
right.
But just, you know, I think everybody should have the basics and understand what a gun can and can't do, and I think it would take away a lot of the mystery out there. But
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. I never imagined myself owning a gun, but now I'm like, I never imagined otherwise, you know.
I hate to interrupt, but I got to take off and get to work, guys.
Bye, Jason.
Yeah.
Have a good day, Jason.
You know, have fun.
Will do. Bye-bye.
yeah, I mean, I have my concealed carry license. I don't carry it all the time. I should, but I just don't. I mean, I go to the post office, can't carry in the post office, you know, things like that. There's a couple places I can't carry here that I go to regularly, so it's kind of a pain in the ass.
Right.
Yeah, that's me. I mean, I should carry more than I do, but I'm never more than like 5 feet away from a gun.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I sit in my office and I can reach down and I can pull my gun out.
Right.
I go upstairs. I have one next to me upstairs in my bedroom. I've got guns. I mean, my daughter is the same way. My daughter has guns like her bedroom. She's got more guns than I do. So. But yeah, it's one of those things that if you want to be any good at it, I mean, you can be adequate with not that much practice. It's not that difficult, especially if you understand the principles behind shooting. But if you want to be good at it, you got to shoot regularly.
Right. And that's why it's, I mean, other than the ammo, I mean, there's really, I don't know if there's even a cost to it. I don't think there's anybody that mans it.
Was there a range you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your state, really, how controlled the ranges are. Here in Ohio, they used to be all kind of pretty much wide open, no cost, and then the Department of Natural Resources took over every public range out here.
Hmm.
And so now you have to now it's not expensive. You buy a yearly pass, and it's like $20 for the year.
Right.
But they are a lot more strict and a lot more maintained than they used to be. But out here, you can shoot on, if you're not in the city limits, you can shoot on your private land if you've got enough land to support something like that. So a lot of people do that. I go to an indoor range because it's nice when the weather's bad. I can go to the indoor range. It costs me $20 an hour. I shoot for an hour, and then when I shoot, if I'm taking my 9mm, that's the cheapest round to shoot. That's decent power.
Right.
And you can buy 9mm about $12 for a box of 50. And then 22 right now is running $3 to $4 a box, $5 a box. I don't know, for 50. So that's kind of what I shoot. I mean, I have a 40 that I shoot as well, a little Beretta 40. But I don't shoot that very much because, again, it's pricier, and that's more of a that's more of a concealed gun, and I don't shoot a whole lot of it. I mean, most of my guns are concealment guns. I have a 1911 9mm that I shoot a lot because that's a bigger frame gun. I don't carry that one anywhere.
Right.
But I love shooting shotgun. So I mean, shotguns you got to do outdoors. I mean, so there's nothing like going out and busting some clays, getting out there with a thrower, and I've got a little thrower. And I used to, when I lived in West Virginia, there was a little range that was wide open. You go down there, you set your own thrower up, and you sit there and go with two people, one person setting the throwers, and you're just shooting them. And you could shoot all day long for nothing, so whatever your cost was.
Yeah, that would be good.
That's a blast.
Yeah, I tried the was it the 38?
38. A 38 revolver is really one of the best decent sized guns to start with if you've never shot before, because it will teach you the basics of shooting. Again, it's not very expensive. 38 is probably right around on par with 9mm for cost.
Yeah.
And you can pick them up at a fairly reasonable price. 4-inch barrel 38. You really can't go wrong with that.
Right.
Not great for concealment until you get into the 2-inch barrel, but that changes how you shoot the thing because it's going to be a lot noisier, a lot more blast, and you can develop bad habits with something like that.
Right.
But yeah, my daughter actually has I gave it to her. It's a 4-inch 357 Magnum, which you can shoot 38s out of, and that's a great little gun. It's a Ruger, but you really can't go wrong with it. I mean, the nice thing about guns is as long as you do basic maintenance on them, they last forever.
Right.
And you'll get your money back out of them. If you buy a used gun, almost always you can sell that used gun for what you paid for it at least.
Hmm.
And some of the newer guns you can buy, and you don't lose a lot of money. Guns hold their value really, really well. So that's one of the things I always invested money into. Is I would always, if I saw a good deal on a gun, I'd buy it because I knew I could either flip it for more.
Right.
Or I always knew that it was cash sitting there.
Yeah. I think it gives me a way, or it gives me a reason to get out of the house and, have a hobby. I really don't have any hobbies, so
It's a fun thing to do, but like I said, it can be a little bit pricey. But if you've got a range where you're not paying any range fees, then that will offset a lot of what you spend.
Sure.
For me, since I have to, I budget $20 to go to the range. That would be 100 rounds I can't shoot. So,
Right.
I typically put about $50 a month for shooting, and it doesn't take that much money to shoot. I mean, it's just a matter of going there. Now, I'm lucky I have two very nice indoor ranges that are really close.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to find some land to go shoot on. That way I wouldn't have to pay that amount, but because then you can work on a little bit more things. I used to work for the bank, and I carried when I was an undercover investigator for Rite Aid. So, I mean, I used to do a lot more tactical stuff, running and shooting and things like that. So I don't do any of that stuff anymore, but I would like to do some of it.
I just shoot off my front porch.
Do you really?
No.
No, I wish I could.
Well, some
My
front
neighbors
porches.
probably wouldn't like that.
Probably not.
It'd be nice to live a place like that where you could do that.
Yeah.
Another thing you can get into if you really want to get into it where you could shoot in your front or in your backyard is pellet gun shooting. And you have to be careful because those could still hurt somebody pretty badly. But if you can set up a couple of hay bales and shoot into that, that's a discipline that actually doesn't cost a lot of money. Pellets are extremely cheap.
That's no fun.
Oh, you shoot 22 caliber pellet gun, yeah, it gets up there. I mean, they've got pellet guns that people actually hunt with that are 50 caliber and 357 caliber. I mean,
Yeah, my son's friend brought over a bunch of swords and knives and stuff so we can sell it in the yard sale. We brought this. It looks like a 357 Magnum, and it's got these bullets in them that look like 357, but then they're hollow, and you can put projectiles in the bullet.
Yep.
And so whenever you shoot the gun, it's
compressed air. It's a CO2.
CO2 gun. Yeah. That thing is silver and shiny and looks so cool.
That's why those are the type of things that get kids shot because they don't know, the cops can't tell the difference.
Right.
They're fun to play with as a toy out in your backyard when you're having fun. They are loud. Don't get me wrong. I mean, your neighbors, if you have really close neighbors, might wonder what the hell you're doing. But it's no different than hammering in your garage or anything. But yeah, I love pellet gun shooting. I mean, that's one of the things it's really can help you maintain your discipline when you're learning how to shoot, while being extremely inexpensive. I mean, you can buy 500 pellets for like $6.
Wow.
And then if you get if you decide to get a rifle, you can get what they call a Springer, which is you basically where you pull the barrel down. You have no other cost but the pellets. There's no CO2 or anything like that. So, and those rifles, you can pick up a really nice rifle. It's I don't remember the name of it. It's at Walmart, but it actually comes with two different barrels, so you get two different calibers. You get .17 and .22, and it's like $100, and it's actually got really good reviews.
Wow.
Oh, Jennifer said her husband bought a Miller 250. That's a very nice welder.
Yeah.
I hope he's buying it to use and not to resell, unless you got a really good deal, because that's an expensive welder. Anything Miller is going to be really good. That's like the premier welding. I said I don't have Miller. I have Harbor Freight stuff. So
yeah.
But yeah, I need to do more welding. I mean, it's one of the things you got to do it and then keep it up. Otherwise, your skills diminish. Just like shooting. Anything else, anything you do that's a skill, if you don't practice it, it goes away.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing is I just wanted to have that. I don't want to be afraid of it, and I understand, as long as your finger's not on the trigger, there's no reason to be afraid of it. But if you're not, I'm just not comfortable with it.
Well, if you're gonna do MIG welding, which would be that type of where you've got a little gun that feeds the wire out, you can get into that really cheap if you buy the type that doesn't require any type of gas. You don't get quite as clean of a weld, but it still does a very adequate job. Like I said, you can buy a welder for $100. You can get on YouTube and learn how to use it, and you get some metal and go out and practice with it. It's not good. You're going to spend more money learning how to practice than if you went and actually took a class on it. The class will teach you how to weld properly.
That's true.
But if you just want to if you want to learn on your own, you can learn MIG welding on your own pretty easily.
Yeah.
Oxyacetylene is a little different. That's a little harder to learn on your own. TIG is like MIG welding but better. It uses a different type of gas. It uses different type of rods, and you can do a whole lot more with TIG welding. A lot stronger welds and things like that. But that's a much more expensive machine.
Right.
So Harbor Freight, like I said, there's nothing wrong with Harbor Freight's welders. They're actually pretty decent. Their wire that comes with the welder sucks. So once you burn through that wire, which is great for learning, you learn how to weld with their wire, and then you go out and you buy good quality wire. And you can get that from like Tractor Supply or something like that. You want to buy Miller, or there's another company, and I'm just blanking on it right now. They do arc welders. But don't buy Harbor Freight wire, buy a different brand, and you'll see a huge difference. And like I said, you're going to invest $100 in a machine if you buy just a standard, shielded wire machine. So
right,
not a huge investment, but it can be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lincoln. Jennifer got it. Lincoln wire. That's what you want. Thank you, Jennifer.
Good to know.
But yeah, it's a blast. I mean, and like I said, it can pay you money. Like I said, the work we did on my daughter's truck, turned that truck from a junkyard truck into something she drove for another 3 years.
Right.
And that was, we had to basically rebuild the back framework. Fun stuff. You gotta have a hobby.
Yeah, actually, it sounds kind of crazy, but I feel like I've been like a zombie for 6 months. I feel like I have been completely in the fog. And now I'm finally kind of getting out of it. And I don't know. It's a weird feeling.
It'll come back. It'll come back. It comes in, it goes in, it goes out, believe me.
Right.
I mean, I remember for me, there were days of just like, holy cow, what have I been doing? You got totally mentally clear. And then 3 weeks later, you're sitting back going, what day is it? It's been a week since I did anything. I mean, you get into that mental fog and you don't realize how it is. And it's been 4 years for me, almost 5, and it's still going that way.
Yeah.
And you still have those moments. I mean, they're less and less, but they're still there. I mean, anytime you deal with something, like you and I both have dealt with, it's one of those weird things. It just comes and goes. Like, so that's why there's sometimes like I'll sit back and I realize I haven't listened to anything for a week because I don't realize it's been a week.
Right.
It's difficult sometimes when you and you're sitting there, you're shipping every day, you're doing the things you have to do. You're just staring at the screen for something. It's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, it's getting, I don't know how you say it. And it's getting, do you say it's better? It's getting better?
It never gets better. You're getting more used to it. That's all.
Yeah.
And I don't, like I said, I don't know if it'll ever get better. I just know that right now it's just, you just learn to deal with it better and better.
Right.
Subaru Robin, it's going to be either a 14 or
That's why Facebook is such a bad time suck, because it's so easy to get sucked into that.
Mm-hmm.
because there's a streak of Subaru Robin parts I went through. So, and
I
that
fast every day, Jason. I fast for about 4 hours and I eat something.
I think it's probably 14 now that I think about it.
Yeah, Clear Honeybee says, you know, the fog lasts for years. It can.
I felt better. Believe it or not, you know, I didn't go, like I said, I didn't go to the gym Saturday or yesterday. I skipped 2 days. I have more energy, even though I was burning a ton of calories. I think it was just a mental, felt better about myself.
Yeah, there's definitely things you can do to improve your life and everything.
You
But
can just get out and walking around the neighborhood, you know. You know, and exercise or walking or being active or whatever, I mean, it does increase your you know, dopamine and serotonin levels, and well, you know all that stuff, Valerie. But it's, you know, it actually is a natural way of almost antidepressant. It's kind of what antidepressant
Right.
is on, but
yeah, like I said, the hardest part is you got to make sure you don't go too far and use that to replace everything else. I mean, it's so easy to launch 100% into something and not realize that, again, you have no balance.
Right.
who, me not have any balance? What are you talking about? Yeah. I'm the king of no balance. Shut up, Mahoney. That dog barks when there's leaves in the driveway. I don't know if I like that or not.
Well, I'll tell you one good thing, Jim, is all these saddles have sized.
Yeah, just like Jim says, I fast every day between breakfast and lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Ha! I had an epiphany.
What's on your table, Dusty?
What's on your table?
What's that green stuff?
Oh, some bubble
Oh,
wrap.
I thought it was like a basket full of something.
We have a we're down to our last bag, but I have a big bag of hair pillows that I got from Bearded Picker, who I haven't. Has he been in the audience today? I haven't seen him today.
I haven't seen him.
He was.
He gave us several big bags, and I'm down to the last bag, and it's, I don't know where he got a trash bag that size, but it's like a 600-gallon trash bag in our dining room.
Oh my god.
Try to use air pillows whenever I can, just to I don't know, especially if they're free. That's the best part. Save costs elsewhere, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say. What's on your table, Sally?
Sally, pick and sass. You got your incense from California.
No, I did not. Not yet.
Oh wow.
Wow, 2-week shipping time. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Hadn't it been like 2 weeks?
You didn't get the incense yet. Look at that. With that.
Gee whiz. No comment.
I'm just saying it seems like it's coming from China or some shit. The way it's going.
Did you get a tracking number or anything?
Nope.
Wow. Way to go, dude.
He doesn't give me anything like that. So
Is it past the due date? I mean, is it past the day it was supposed to get to you?
He had like 10-day shipping, I think.
Well, it was like Etsy, wasn't it?
yeah, it was Etsy.
Oh,
Not Etsy. They'll screw you over
I don't know
over
what the
there.
rules are.
They'll screw you over.
Shop eBay. Etsy screws you over.
You've been Etsy.
Let me see. I'll look and see when it was supposed to. I'm not even sure when it was supposed to be here. I knew that it was going to take a while. That's why I was like, oh, well, fuck it.
Tell me you're desperate for that. You need it now.
And I found it, and it was where I thought it was. Was there anything?
Remind me to tell you something about that later, Sally, when we're done.
Beth said drug enforcement held it up.
Say hi. Wave.
Hi.
Hi. Just woke up, sorry.
She's the early riser, and then she goes back. By the time I get up, she goes back to sleep.
But then I can sleep good when he's out of the bed.
Apparently, I flounder
Flounder?
or kick. Or,
Holy cow! There is tracking on this. I'm surprised.
Wow.
Coming from California.
Okay. Via China.
So.
Hey, Tara?
Yeah.
Megan Carl is interested in one of your saddles.
Oh, which one does she? Oh, I have not watched that.
She said it a couple times.
Okay. Sure. I mean, some of them are listed right now, so I mean, I just listed like a Steuben Siegfried. That
I think it was the Steuben is what she was interested in.
She
it's
wants
listed.
the
It's
one
listed.
the one that Jim wears.
Oh, okay. That one's got pink fuzz on it.
The milking saddle.
The milking saddle.
Grody.
Well, okay. Let me see. I'll look at the chat here.
Okay, so I paid for this item on the 17th of April, and they shipped it on the 25th. And then it was in California for like 4 days. So the last day that I see on it is the 29th, and it was in Saginaw. So
You put the tracking number in here.
Yeah.
Because I want to look at it. I'm just kind of curious.
I don't even know how.
Well, you can pay for tracking, but it's not very expensive to pay for just for tracking on a stamped envelope.
Hmm.
All right.
So, first class mail. It wasn't first class package.
You put a stamp on it and bought tracking, and there's no way. I mean, that's like 60 cents, I think, or something like that for tracking.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, he's not making any money on that.
I just wouldn't want my buyers to get stuff in like 2 weeks. I mean, even if that is Etsy allowable.
I mean, the only way he's making money is if he's actually getting them to buy like $5 or $10 worth at a time.
Maybe.
I found it.
Are you I'm out of paper. Why does it only happen when you need it?
I went out of paper last night too. It's like, what the hell? I'm out of paper?
How come my printer never runs out of paper when I'm not using it? Huh. It's really not a big deal, except my copy paper box is all the way up underneath my desk with other stuff sitting on top of it. And then I always bang my head. That's sad that he sells stuff to stay busy, not just make money. But I think he's losing money. That's my thing.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely is losing money. There's no doubt about that.
And I think
there's absolutely no way that he could make any money on this with free shipping if he's even putting a stamp on it. Paying, what'd you say, Eric? Like 60 cents for shipping or tracking?
Yeah, it's like 60 cents, I think, just for tracking.
Yeah. Okay, there goes that dollar.
Yeah, then he's got PayPal fees, which is 30 cents plus, it's like 33 cents. He doesn't even have cost of whatever it costs him to buy the stuff, so, which is probably minimal, but.
Yeah.
They did a show about it, and he admitted he loses money, but he didn't really say,
Well, if he sells it if somebody buys a $1 item, he's going to lose money, but if they buy a $2 item, he's making money.
Or I suppose
why not price it to where it's something you do to stay busy, but you still make $1 or so?
Or price it so you don't lose money on the first one, and you start making money when they buy quantity. That's all you have to do. $1.50 for the first one, and then 50 cents a piece for the next ones after that. You're going to start making money at that point.
Yep.
Right.
And then that.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. Hope everybody has a great day and lots of cha-chings to you. I got one so far. I heard another one too.
Yep.
So everybody have a great
day too.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.